Who will be top dog in 2030? Well, this question was raised by a friend of mine on YouTube who's called Pieman97405. Check out his channel; it's very good. Now, by that time, America's production would have catched up with China, and Russia's production would have catched up with America. So we're looking at a true multipolar world. Well, what about Europe? Well, they can say that America is mostly a European country still. The majority of its population are of European descent. And so, with the resurgence of the European population, with the demographic curve getting about as low as it could get in about 2002, and has now resurged back with high birth rates in Germany, in Britain especially, and especially France. So that Britain could be the biggest country in Europe. So we're looking at a more maritime focused Europe as well, with maybe the structural relationship between the European economy and the American economy will stay the same, and that Europe will continue to be the world's largest economy, the largest importer and the largest exporter. Now, I know I'm flying the flag for Europe there. I'd also like to say that America's military power will be at the same time being balanced by a resurgence of European military power. And in one of my first vids, I asked, is Europe and America an empire? Well, we might say that they are not territorial empires, although arguably with the war in Iraq, America could be said to have gained a territorial empire. But what we're more concerned with is a sphere of influence around those countries that are within Europe, and also within what could be termed the North American Union. There are major construction projects linking Mexico to Canada, and in a customs union that will develop out of the NAFTA, the North American Trade Agreement, free trade agreement, where there will be a European Union style alliance between Canada, Mexico and the United States. Now, this may be a way for the Americans to try and preserve their dollar, but what is certain is that the Petro-Dollar cannot remain the world's reserve currency. It is fueling America's enemies, it is fueling hatred towards America, it is giving money to the Bin Laden and Saudi crime families, it is allowing them to gain access to technology that can rival the United States, and that is sitting right on the borders with Europe, the Middle East being right on the borders with Europe. Now Europe has an interesting relationship with Turkey, an interesting relationship with Azerbaijan, which incidentally produced most of the oil for the Soviets during World War II, and so is a vitally strategic country nestled between Turkey, the Caspian Sea and Iran. Now, Europe's sphere of influence thus goes all the way to the borders of India in the south, across the Middle East, across North Africa, and across into Russia, almost to the Ural Mountains. So you can say that Europe as an actual co-prosperity sphere of influence greater than the United States in terms of population, in terms of the actual amount of people its products can reach. You have to remember that Europe and Russia have a strong trading relationship, but what I'd like to see is to continue a special relationship between the United States and Europe, but obviously with Europe being top dog. That's why I've called it top dog. But let me take this as the melding of American and European interest will be that in 2030 the world will be a mostly European world. Not in terms of general population, maybe, but a resurgence of the European population may be taking place, and we're talking billions of people here. When you merge the United States population of European descent together with the European population of European descent. You not only get a sense with a lot of European said in it, but you get a lot of people as well. A lot of people who share a common identity, a lot of people who share common cultural values, such as natural and economic rights, and the rights of property, the right to have human rights expressed. Now, America could be also going back towards its constitution, which will also be positive things. And if we can just learn to make the sea, the Atlantic Sea, our sea, have a free trade agreement between the European Union and America, this would give the world almost a quarter of the world's surface under European sphere of influence. Now, obviously, China, ASEAN, Japan, India, and Russia and China will be all powerful players, but can they really stand up to the combined economic power of $14.4 trillion at the moment in America and 18.4 trillion euro per year per annum? If those could be merged together, if you could actually get a merging of the American and European unions, that would be amazing. But Europe would have to be top dog, because by 2030 we will have not only a military as powerful as the United States, we will have an economy probably twice as large as the United States. Now, I'd like to hear people's comments on that, and I think a step forward towards this goal of a European world would be the child tax credits to allow mothers to have more children and stay at home for longer periods, and also fathers as well. Greater welfare for people, and also if Arnold Schwarzenegger could be the president in 2012, whether that will happen is a big question. But check out my video on that. Also, we have to deal with the problem of trading banks, which cause trading gaps, and also the inequality between the loaning of money. The banks can get money at 0% interest from the central banks, but you have to borrow that money at interest. That should be dealt with so that individual citizens can borrow money directly from the central bank at almost no interest, say 1% interest. That would make a big step forward in the world, and I think that's something that the European Union should definitely look at. Thank you for listening. Peace.